Hi, welcome back to Wild Speculations. I'm Daniel.
I'm Scott.
This week we talk again about Campaign 2, Episode 111, New Homes and Old Friends.
Yep, I was not able to be here last week due to just having to cover at work and choice of being salary and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I did watch the episode.
Did I represent your notes well enough?
For the most part, yeah.
I was a little nervous doing the show that way because I don't like to have my phone in my hand.
Yeah.
And I thought about having the email up on my TV, but it's 25 feet away. No, it's not quite that far. It's about 15 feet away. But still, I would, if I would have had that up that way, I definitely would have had access to the chat.
Right.
And I didn't want to have that, so.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah, and I sent you. I tried to be as detailed as possible, so.
Yeah.
To get my points across. Let's. You want to start with the tower?
Sure.
I know we talked about it in the. So the reason I ordered them the way they did, because I initially thought like you did that the salon counted as 3 floors.
Yeah.
Which would make it an 11-floor building, because he does in fact list 9 floors with the salon only being 1 floor in a tweet, Liam. And that's why I ordered it that way.
Yeah.
And counted it as 1 floor. You covered the first 7 floors fairly well. Got both of our comments in there. I do wish we had speculated more too. We kind of just,
like I said, there was sort of low-hanging fruit for us to not have taken the opportunity.
But there was so much that we had to discuss, and time constraints.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's primarily. I think if we had more time on the clock when we got into the tower at the end of the episode, we would have spent more time speculating.
Well, or if we had talked about doing that before, because I've said he was going to take that spell.
Yes.
For a long time.
Yeah. We both have.
But yeah.
But I really want to know. I mainly want to know your thoughts on floors 8 and 9, and what those might be. His tweet just listed them as ...
Well, one of them we did see. He just didn't label it.
We saw a little bit of it. We saw that it's got 9 rooms, and we saw one of those rooms.
9 doors, yeah.
9 doors. We saw one of those rooms. I think it may be places of trauma, places that shaped him. I think one is probably his childhood room, but burnt.
So I was wrong.
Okay.
Well, I was half wrong. I have rethought about it, and the passphrase that he uses, I didn't catch it either time, but I've since watched it again. And the key word that I caught was Vergessen, which is the asylum. So I think the passphrase to get up there is something to do with the asylum.
Okay.
And I think those 9 doors have to do with his education in Trent. And I think the 9th floor is his childhood home.
Okay. I like that. Okay.
That's
I do like your theory that because he goes and he sleeps in the one room, that he can exit that room through his room.
Yeah.
I like that. I think that's probably true, especially since that's where he slept.
Yeah.
I do. I think that there's something about those rooms, and not just because it's the asylum, that he's afraid will turn off the Mighty Nine.
Yes.
Be off-putting to them. That it goes against general party consensus. I believe there may be Volstrucker inspired accoutrement.
Yeah.
And I mainly base this off the fact that from the beginning, Liam has said that Caleb is based off of Raceland from Dragonlance.
Yeah.
And I'm still waiting for that black robe to drop.
Well, in Talks, he talked about how for the longest time he was gonna be like he didn't know which way he was gonna go either.
Yeah.
And for a while he was on the knife's edge.
Mm-hmm.
But his comments on Talks seem to indicate that he has come down on the side of good guy.
Okay.
So I don't think we're gonna get the black robe, as it were.
I mean, you could argue that Raceland did a lot of good while wearing the black robes as well.
Yeah. But yeah, so part of me thinks that the other parts of the tower that we don't see,
mm-hmm.
in like I've said what I think they are, but I think there's an underlying current that might have something to do, might be close to Deep Space Nine.
Mm.
When Julian and Miles trick Sloane to come and destroy the cure for the changelings, and they go into Sloane's mind, and it's the corridors of DS9, except when it's not, and it's some featureless Starfleet security thing, and then they go into his office, and there's pads everywhere, and he's like, you know, there's no room like this in reality.
Yeah.
And Julian's looking at all these pads going, look at this. So I think there might be some of that baked in to the 9 rooms. I also don't think that the other members of the Mighty Nine will ever see those rooms.
It's possible.
I mean, we've only got 50 episodes left.
I guess it depends on how much time they spend in there. There were considerable portions of time spent with role-play scenarios in Scanlan's mansion.
Yes. In 4 rooms. The dining hall, Grog's exercise room, and 2 bedrooms.
There also wasn't anything hidden from anybody.
I mean, we don't know that.
Passageway.
But
yes,
Liam,
I am back. Thank you.
Liam did say, did tell the 9 that there are 9 floors.
Yes.
So it's a question of, do they put it together and eventually start pressing, or but I don't think they do.
I think the majority of them, at least as players, because he does specify the library is 3 stories tall, don't think about that. Beth is the most likely to figure it out because she's right there on the top floor, quote unquote top floor.
Yeah.
And I think you're right about Caduceus being the furthest away and Bo not being far away. You know.
Yeah. He has built-in distractions for her.
Yes, he's built in distractions for her, and he put the most observant one the furthest away.
Yeah.
Very true. And then the 5 books. I think so. Tusk Love and the Courting of the Crick, I think, are just campaign Easter eggs. The reason they're included.
Yeah.
The treatise on transmutation, probably because he's a transmuter.
Well, like I say, I don't know if that's something Bren wrote, or if it's the book that he credits with making him choose transmutation over evocation.
Right. And then the other 2 books,
Cats and Princeton and
the
the
Cat
Vortex.
Prince. So one, like you said, the Vortex, the homage to the, but the Cats and Princeton, the Cat Prince. They are very fond of putting Easter eggs in the game. Cats and Princeton is a children's movie from the late 70s from East Germany about a boy and a girl who move into a castle with their cat. And the cat's pregnant. The groundskeeper at the castle is this mean guy who hates cats. The kittens are born, he captures them all, puts them in a box, and throws them in the river. The boy goes looking for them, finds them. The mom is nearly dead. All the kittens are dead when he finds them. He has a dream about an elixir that can restore life. He tells his sister. They find a magic doorway into a fairy tale land in the castle. He dies in the final battle, but the girl ends up killing him, killing the monster, gets the elixir, gives some to him to bring him back, gives some to the horse that they had, which died also. It becomes a Pegasus. They use the Pegasus to fly back to the castle. They drop the remaining of the elixir over the castle, basically restoring the castle, bringing all the cats back to life, and turning the mean man nice. And, is that wishful thinking on Bren's part? Is he trying to... Is it hints towards the Transmuter Stone and bringing people back? Is it a wishful thinking of redeeming Trent?
So, I have a feeling, Liam, if you're right, then Liam had Matt watch the film. And Matt internalized it, and we got a glimpse and basically cast Astrid in the part of the sister.
Right.
And of course, Trent is the mean man.
Yep. I don't know. It may just be a throwaway to something, like Frumpkin. The name Frumpkin is a throwaway to his childhood.
The thing is, though, there's other evidence, though.
Yeah.
Because on Twitter, Liam said that the 3 children in the Voltexa story are him, Astrid, and Eowyn.
Yeah.
But we now have that in universe as a fairy tale, which means it either can't be or that Caleb is the author.
Yeah.
which is also interesting because if that's the case, there may not actually be a book of the Voltexa, and it could just be like some of those books may be stories that Caleb has told himself.
Yeah.
Huh. Which might make for an interesting investigation check for Bo.
Yeah.
Or anyone really, but Bo has the best chance of finding it, probably. Well, no, technically, the best chance to find it is not because she has Vet because she has reliable talent.
Yeah.
So the lowest she can get is 21. But,
But it's just I thought it was interesting,
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of Bo, we didn't speculate a lot, but I did say I could see a training dummy and a bookshelf with a desk in her room, and that's what she has in her middle room.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those were the couple of things that I forgot to mention the movie in the email I sent you, but the couple of things about the tower that I wanted to hit on.
Yeah.
Those extra floors. Did you have anything else?
Only to say, and I think I covered it last episode, but probably not. I have a greater appreciation for Liam's teasing of details.
Yeah.
On subsequent rewatching. That he teases the aqueducts in the very first room and gets them interested. And then it pays off later.
Yeah.
And then pays off again. So yeah, it will be interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we want to discuss MVP because we did have a disagreement on that.
We did. Mine was close. I did edge it to Marisha. Not that I disagree with any of the points that you made. And like I said in the note, because of her putting everything together, and I think that epiphany, that realization that she had, is while Liam drove things within the episode, she drove the overall plot. She connected the dots for the overall plot that they've all been skirting around and never realizing. And we've been saying for, she's the one that it clicked for.
Yeah.
In the overall overarching plot and what they need to do, where they need,
Yeah. Crystallize that this is the third act.
Yeah. And that's why I gave it to her over Liam. And it was very, very close for me.
Like I say, I give the edge to Liam, not just because of the first part, but really what got us the cliffhanger at the end.
Yeah.
Pushing to go dig up Molly.
Yeah.
Because that really was the only action that they took.
Yeah.
This episode. So, I had someone on Twitter ask a question, and I sort of winced when I read it. And it was, has Veth done anything interesting? It's someone who is aware of the show, but they don't follow it.
Gotcha.
How we do. And I was just like, ugh. because I was thinking about it and I was like, has she? And like the response I gave was 2 tweets long, so it was lengthy. But it reminded me of our back and forth on whether or not Veth was going to stay or go.
Right.
But yeah.
Pumat. Sure.
Did you have anything else?
Not
because I don't think in your note. I don't remember seeing anything in your notes.
Not really. I mean, Nicodranus was just a there and gone moment.
Yeah.
There wasn't a huge amount, you know.
Yeah.
The only thing we really got was that Use is not entirely happy being an off ramp for the teleportation circle highway.
Which, when he gave him the sigil, he did warn them against.
Yes.
That.
And they respond to that by bribing the help.
Oh, I'm sure that the goblin's going to give him his cut. That's not going to happen.
Yeah. But you grease the hands of the guy who's there, and he might be able to.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm waiting to see if they maybe do a sending to Wadsworth instead. Hey, is it clear to come through? Oh yeah, he's in the fun ball right now. Come on through. You won't know. So they can, keep using it more frequently without pissing off their ally.
I hadn't thought about that angle, but that is entirely possible.
So, and then just, the note that you touched on about Yeza not liking the spur of the moment, spontaneity, lifestyle of the Mighty Nine.
Yeah. I mean, he's not a gnome. He's a halfling. Halflings stereotypically are homebodies.
Yes.
So once he has found a home, he makes it his own space.
Yes.
So yeah.
So yeah. Pumat's shop.
Do you think Yeza is actually going to be forming an official business relationship with Pumat?
Not unless he actually resets up a shop, which I don't think he's done yet.
I don't know. Matt seemed to indicate that he was doing something in the house. That he was working, as he likes to do.
I mean, but that could just be experimenting. He may not have actually set up business yet.
Oh, yeah.
Once he sets up business, that's his main source of Pumat's his main source of income until he built in a customer base in whatever location he sets up at.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's got an automatic contract income flow before to spend time to be able to build a customer base. So absolutely.
How long until Yeza hires the Mighty Nine to go get ingredients?
That's a good question.
Because if he is working with Pumat asked him to get them basilisk oil.
Yeah.
But
I think
if he becomes Pumat's primary alchemist,
I think pretty quickly. And the only reason why, well, if I hire them to go get these few things, well, that's less dangerous than what they are doing. And then Beth is safe, and she doesn't have quite as outlandish tales to tell my son and get him hyped up to be more rambunctious than he already is.
Fair.
But yeah, Pumat, very little in the store. Most of it conscripted for the military.
Still.
Waiting on its return.
Used a different discount this time instead of bulk.
Yep.
So
more evidence there's an intern watching our show. I'm kidding. Totally joking with that. I think that joke's right there with their writers for Critical Role.
Yeah.
At least to me it is.
My biggest revelation for the scene in Zadash was how Molly got his name, MT.
Yes.
And we also Zorn and Otis. I didn't talk about them.
Yes.
Last week. Do you think those two are with them?
Possibly.
You mentioned something on Sunday about Gustav.
Yeah. Gustav's from there. I was wondering if maybe he was one of them just with an alias, and that's why he took Molly in, took care of him.
And I think Gustav was a potential link in the demonology chain. Or devil. Whichever side the blood war he's on.
Both. I mean, if he's a member of the Cleric Order and the splinter group thereof that the Tomb Takers became, he very well could have been another blood hunter, just with the one that deals with demon, with and had the fiendish pack, the one that gets warlock spells.
Yeah, but if that was the case, I don't think he's a blood hunter, because otherwise he would have spotted the devil toad.
Unless it was there for a reason.
Yeah. But again, the Cleric Order, the blood hunters are heroes? I mean, they're not.
Ish. So the blood hunters come from an area. There was a civil war. The king basically sold the kingdom to devils to win the war.
Yeah.
Totally destroyed his kingdom. A cleric of the Raven Queen prayed for the power to fight against these things and was given blood magic. Was the first blood order cleric, and formed the Cleric Orders, which gave rise to the Blood Order Cleric and the class of Blood Hunter. All originated from that Cleric Order. So, one of their enemies, though, is the Dwendalian Empire. So.
Well, I mean,
take that for what you will, but yeah.
Didn't they pick Yasha up in the Ash Keepers?
I believe so, yes.
We're going back there.
Yeah.
I think that's where the Tarask is.
Okay.
And that's where the Tarask is going to come out of. I'm still on the Tarask as their.
No, I agree. I agree.
the city in the Astral Sea.
Mm-hmm.
Are you with Bo, thinking it's Aor?
No.
Okay.
I do not believe that is Aor.
Because I think that is another campaign 1 Easter egg.
Hmm.
They had the skull of the Gith.
Yeah.
And I think it's gonna connect back to that city. And Clarota and the Illithids under Craghammer. So that's where I'm at. Alright. And I think it's a side quest or a red herring that Nat has given them. But I also think that may have been the city that they were trying to send Molly to.
Yes. That I believe. I believe it is the city.
But I don't think it's AR. No. Oh. Bit of speculation we can do.
Okay.
Going back to Pumat. The Ioun Stone was for the Archmage of Industry.
Yes.
A doppelganger.
Yes.
Where do you think she is? Because we know why the Ring of Fire Resistance wasn't picked up. The Mighty Nine got him in prison.
Yeah. I'm not sure. According to the Explorer's Guide, she's based out of Rexentrum.
As all of the Assembly is.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, what I'm saying is, where did she go? Like, I don't think the fact that she's a doppelganger is common knowledge. I think that is a story beat for the source book. Everyone in Rexentrum would think that she's a human.
Yeah, she did set up a human with a history as being from the Clovis Concord.
Yeah. I know where she might be. And okay.
So she does help organize the collection of tithes throughout Starosta. So
I think I know where she is.
Okay, where do you think she is?
She's going. Whatever contacts she used to build her identity there, called her up to help with the problem in Nicodranus that the Mighty Nine caused when they freed the Myriad. And she's off dealing with that.
Very well could be. I still wish they would go to the palace.
I know. It's like a genie owes you a wish, man.
Right?
Although maybe Caleb's holding on to that one.
Yeah.
If they even remember that. They might not.
Yes.
But yeah, I bet that's where she's at. That's where she disappeared to.
Yeah.
But yeah. I do think, I have to reiterate, that I think that it's going to take them kidnapping the gentleman to get him to Nicodranus.
Either that or it'll be epilogue mention.
I don't know if the Jester waits that long. The other possibility is they take Miriam with them, with the promise that she can stay in the mansion.
Yeah.
Look, Mama, he can do this. He can make the rooms look exactly like your room here.
Yeah.
And if Caleb gets Marion out of the chateau and gives her a trip, that will be it. That will be Widow Jest forever.
Yeah.
Because with her room in this episode, she was googly-eyed at him.
Yeah.
Ford who?
Yeah. So, what do you think they're looking for in this expedition up north? What does Dorogna want?
So it all depends on how Matt wants to roll with what happens to Vecna's cult after campaign 1.
Mm-hmm.
Because Vess was instrumental in getting
Delilah.
out.
Yeah.
And she was serving a false god then, who is now technically a real one. No.
Yeah.
He's on the other side of the divine gate. If she really wants those deity-killing weapons that Aor was working on, I think that's her target.
Okay.
I think her, like Caleb, like she might be their best ally in reforming the Empire, I think. Because she doesn't like the elf, the leader. What's his name?
Oh, Ludinus.
Ludinus. Thank you. My brain kept saying Ormus. I'm like that. It's not Haas. It's not Haas. But that was the only name that my brain was screaming. Yeah, Ludinus. She has been the most vocal in her opposition in talking with them to Ludinus. Where Trent seems to be a staunch ally.
Yeah.
In as much as Trent is a staunch ally of anyone. But it's going to be a question of can they get over whatever part Vess played in Molly's story.
Yeah.
Because I think Bo's 100% right. It's Vess that he was running from.
Absolutely. I think it's best that he was running from. I think that they were trying to reach that city in the Astral Sea. I think that possibly Vestarogna is of the same stake, in my belief, mistaken idea that Bo is, that it is Aor. At least if she's going for the god-killing weapons.
So, the Illithid have a long history of being parallel with the Great Old Cthulhu.
Mm-hmm.
It's possible that Aor was using that city in some alliance. And a key piece of information or technology that Aor needed was there.
Yeah.
And I think perhaps Vess discovered that in that book that they were using.
Okay.
And she felt it would be easier to get there than to find Aor. And that avenue closed for her, so now she's back to, I need to find Aor.
And see, I think...
Because the Great Old Ones are dead, gone, imprisoned, away, sleeping, however you want to look at it. And if she could do that to Vecna, then bish bosh, she's...
Yeah. That's possible. I think you... So my idea hits on the note that you said that she would be their best ally in reforming the Empire. And I think her plan goes back to, and I brought it up before in my theory on Delilah and Silas, the frigid woe. And I think that's how she plans on getting rid of Ludinus. But I think it goes beyond that. I think she plans on getting rid of Trent. I think she plans on getting rid of Dwindle. Because she's dropped hints that she's not a fan of the monarchy in the Empire.
Well, is she not a fan, but, like, is it they need to go, or is it I can control them just as easily as Ludinus? Or does she want to be the
what better
Mage
way
King?
to control them than hold the power of life and death over them?
Yeah.
I think she's planning on using the frigid woe, which was designed to wipe out any of a god's followers because magic can't fix it. No arcane or divine magic can cure it. Only the antidote that you can find in the north can cure it. So yeah, you've got all these spells and tricks, you've got access to all these clerics, but it ain't going to do you any good. And I think that's how she intends to clean house, so to speak.
Yeah. Well, and the best way to take out a deity's power is to take out their followers.
Yep.
So, yeah. So this Thursday, they announced there's going to be no Critical Role
again,
and I've talked to Scott.
Yes.
And wanted to throw the idea again that in a Critical Role's time slot that we can do a one shot over Discord. If you guys are interested, we can start 7 p.m. Right?
Yeah.
I will be available earlier than that. I have a poll. I don't know if it's still good or not, but I'll ask you.
Okay.
Because it was Nadai or Araku were the two worlds that I was pitching. I don't know if you've played in Araku.
I have not, and I would like to.
So what we can do is I will post the link to the Discord server at the bottom of this video on YouTube and in the comments section. I'll pin it, and then in the Discord server, I will add a link to a Roll20 game.
Okay.
Because I have a lot of assets there, and I have several short campaigns and stuff that I've run. I've talked about it here.
Yeah, definitely. So for the next episode, whenever that is, and I say that because when they made it the announcement, they left it just ominous enough that
there may not be one next Thursday.
Yeah,
as well.
The following Thursday. Because it doesn't say we'll be back the following Thursday. It said for that Thursday, check the Monday weekly schedule.
Yeah.
So they did say they're all healthy and happy. So I don't think. But
I have a conspiracy theory that I
read that what you will.
Like the only thing, I keep racking my brain. Like the only thing that I can think of that stops production for 2 weeks is somebody tested positive.
Possibly.
But
they're canceling it a week at a time, waiting for the results to come back.
Yeah. And I know I'm not saying that any of the crew did or the cast. It could have been someone in the crew. Or it could be something going on with the space that they shoot in.
Or it could be a family member of cast or crew.
The other possibility is, and this I think is the most likely, and less doomsayery, is they are working on the cartoon.
That could be too. That would be a preferable thing.
And they're doing recordings, maybe.
Yeah.
Because by now the script has to be is probably done.
Yeah.
And they're probably trying to get it banged out.
And they're using the filming time for voice acting.
Yeah. Or they're doing pickups for it. Or voice acting picked up for all of them because the industry started picking back up.
Yeah.
And so where they all had been doing this here and there things, they looked at it and they said, well, we can schedule this much. We can all be busy because we're recording ahead. And then shit happened.
Yeah.
And the meticulous schedule that they had set up fell apart. And they ran out of their pre-recorded material. And we're on the talks tonight is...
There is a talks tonight.
I'm pretty sure there's talks tonight.
No, it's every other week.
It wasn't last week.
Wasn't that just Liam and Ashley last week?
Time is a flat circle, I'm not sure. I'm actually not sure. Okay, yes, thank you, Topinator. Talks was last week. Okay.
And then it's next week on the 13th.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes. That's what I thought. But what do you think? What do we think is going to happen? I still think there will be combat. I think it will be a random encounter. I think everything you discussed, dropping the family off, yada, 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 will be before the break. After the break, they'll head out to Isocross and hit a random encounter when they get there. And I think what happened here in our speculation is we flipped from pre-Traveler Con, where I kept saying, no, they're going to spend the whole episode prepping, and you're like, no, they're going to get on with it. Now you're saying they're going to spend the whole episode prepping, and I'm saying they're going to get on with it. Because they don't always spend that much time prepping. When they do spend an inordinate amount of prep downtime, but they don't always do it. And I think we just flipped our expectation there.
Having Yeza around, there's still no, like, in-game time, they have a week before they have to leave. And they can't leave before then because their clothes aren't going to be ready. Caduceus' armor is not going to be ready. They are not going to pass a week of time in 90 minutes.
I mean, honestly, Yeza is a 5-minute conversation, tops, to drop him off.
Not if we finally get a heart-to-heart between him and Veth. That's a 20-minute rigmarole. There's going to be another night inside the mansion. After a night in the dingy hotel, because those are the only rooms that they have. And Caleb can't do the mansion because they teleported to Molly's grave.
Yeah.
So they're going to have a night without the mansion, which means they have to give them. There's going to be. That leaves
either a night
5
in the
nights.
hotel or a night in the hut.
No, they'll go to the Pillow Trove probably. If it's not that dingy hotel, it's going to be.
They're going to have to. Well, yeah, I guess they teleport circle.
Yeah. Well, they can't leave Yeza and Luke in the city without, like, oh man.
Sprinkle!
Yes, but.
And they've come close to being Sprinkle Redo.
I don't think they sleep anywhere near that grave. Okay. It's, okay, let's get back to Zadash. Boom, we're there.
See,
Bo probably goes to the library again.
See, my thought is that they wrap up the week because they have this revelation they want to get to. So yeah, they may spend a 5 to 10 minute conversation dropping Yeza off. They may spend a 10-minute study break in the library with Caleb and Bo. They may spend a 10-minute shopping spree to get equipment for the north, grab their clothes, take the break, head north.
It's a 45-minute fight over what to do with Molly. And they got a week to argue about it in game. So it's going to be, and that's why I'm saying Bo's going back to the library. She's going to find out more about the Tomb Takers. Or like...
See, I don't think it's a fight. I think it's a pretty unanimous, we got to get to him. What the fuck is going on?
Okay. I think it's going to be a fight.
Okay, who's taking what sides?
The fight will become, does Vess know? And it's going to be, can we find out before we leave if Vess had anything to do with Molly's situation? And once they find that out, it's going to be, do we kill her before we go? Do we, yeah, exactly, talking battle royale time, exactly. Because all of them have different relationships with Molly, with Vess, with what Caleb's goal is to reform the Empire. Like, some of the, like, it's entirely possible that Jester and Ford, just go, y'all are screwed. It's your house. It's on fire.
Absolutely not.
I'm not saying...
Ford maybe. Ford maybe. He has a tendency that when things don't go his way, to walk away and say, I'm not taking part in it.
Yeah.
Ford maybe. Jester, no. Jester is too close to Bo, too close to Caleb to abandon them like that.
Yes. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm saying these are the possibilities.
And I'm saying Jester doing that is not a possibility.
Veth, who knows where she will go. If it comes up that Vess might have killed Molly, and now we're working for her, and we go after Molly, what are we going to do? And then it's, well, what if it's not Molly? What if it's who is it? User 1, the admin profile? Like, who is that?
Okay, so here's...
Is he a good guy now?
Here's my take. One, it's Lucian. It's Lucian. It's not Molly. It's Lucian.
Okay.
2, Beth has one of 2 options. Either she decides it's too dangerous, takes off with Yeza, and Sam has another character, or she backs Caleb. Okay? Caleb. He wanted to talk to whoever was in Molly's body anyway. He wants to figure this out. The best way to do it is to go and figure this out. Jester, Bo, Yasha all had strong ties to Molly. All.
Again,
at least in remembrance. They go because they want to save their friend. They want to see if there's any piece of Molly in there that they can salvage. Ford is outvoted. He may throw his hands in the air. He may say,
well,
okay, let's go.
I also don't see Ford putting up a fight against going north just because Travis really wants to go north.
Right. And all that leaves is Caduceus. And he's kind of, at this point, he said he's kind of along for the ride.
And the thing is, Caduceus might be the inflection point of we have to kill that guy. And all of his friends. And that's where I think the fight is going to be. Is what do we do when we get him?
Don't think Cad makes that decision until he sees who's in the body and what it's doing. I don't think he just randomly says, oh, a purple tiefling you knew is walking in the winter? Let's go kill him and all his friends.
Well, it's a guy who's defied death several times.
But unless he knows he's undead, because they've brought Beth back to life, he doesn't want to kill Beth.
That's true.
So
but it could just as easily be a situation between like your character in Sunday night, our Sunday night game. He's not undead. He's undead adjacent.
Yes.
And all the people who are following Sarah and Ray and the people who don't like her are just like.
Yes. It could be.
Also, it would be really funny for Taliesin, for his current character, to go out and try to kill his old one.
So.
Toph, that's a good point. Jametti. And Caduceus was not okay with him.
Yes. No, he did not like him.
He wasn't on the path that we're going to kill this guy right now, because
he was on the path that all the religious people in our Sunday night game are on about me.
Yes.
What the fuck is he? Do we need to kill him, or is he okay? He's okay for right now because he's not doing too much creepy stuff. By the way, we're playing Pathfinder 2. My character has the Damphir heritage because he's come back from the dead, due to a necromantic curse. But he's not undead. He does heal like them, but he's not one.
Yeah. But, yeah. So, I think it's possible we get a 45-minute discussion at least of what to do about Molly. because they don't want to get there and not have had that talk. And they do have a week of time to do it.
Does that all unfold on camera, or does a lot of that happen in player text and the resolution is displayed in a quick discussion on camera? Because if you're right, that's the difference on if they go north next episode or not.
Well, I think they go north next episode. I just don't think it's as early in the episode as you do. And I don't.
Post break?
Yeah.
What, you think they go at the very end?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or and if it is just post break or just pre break, there's not going to be combat. I don't think so.
Okay.
But in either case, hopefully we will see you guys Thursday at 7 or earlier. Like I say, I'll be in there earlier. And if not, we'll see you Tuesday next week, probably. I guess.